Welcome home. We are WNST, AM 1570, Taos of Baltimore. We are Baltimore Positive. I feel like superstar Billy Graham because I'm like wearing sunglasses because I'm in the window here and there must be some polarization. I'm looking at beautiful Timonium Racecourse and actually looking across at a crab cake at Costas that I'm going to have the minute the show's over here today. It is the Maryland Crab Cake Tour. It is brought to you by the Maryland Lottery. I have the Candy Cane Cash to give away. We are here at Planet Fitness, and I've had this Planet Fitness water bottle for like 15 years, and every time I hold it up, Justin said, we're going to refresh that. We're going to refresh that. So they have like 2026 funny hats that I'm going to give my buddy Denis O'Donovan here for Profit Comm. We're going to talk some AI in this segment. I'll let you talk about the Ravens if you want to.
No, good.
You're good?
I'm good. My son gave me
You're good.
earful this
You're
morning.
good. Yeah. I mean, I figured as much. Happy holidays, happy Christmas, New Year's, wherever you're finding us here this week after the Ravens game. Luke's going to be joining us here talking about baseball and the Shane Baz trade. And Justin Drummond's going to be here as well as April and a whole bunch of folks at Planet Fitness to welcome them to the community. We are in Timonium, as the coach would say, Charlie Ekman. I did have some shrimpy toast, some crab toast last week. It's all brought to you by the Maryland Lottery right down the street from GBMC. I had, Dennis, a $100 winner on the Candy Cane Cash. So hopefully somebody here in Planet Fitness today will win $100 on Candy Cane Cash. You get a ticket because you're of the legal age. You want 44 or 43? Which one you want?
44.
All right, that's Reggie Jackson. All right, you get number 44. Dennis has been my friend for over a decade. My wife was diagnosed with leukemia. We're coming up on 12 years. March the 14th, or March 20th, it'll be of 2014. It'll be 12 years. Dennis worked with There Goes My Hero, my dear friend Eric Sauer and Michelle Bresnick-Walsh, and a whole bunch of people that I got to know Dennis through that period of time. But really, it was about 9 months ago that I ran into Dennis not far from here at a supermarket up in Cockeysville. About 6:30 in the morning. I swear to God, we were only two people in there. It must be like Planet Fitness at 3 in the morning because they're open all 24 hours. And I ran into you, and I'm like, hey, and then 2 days later, I ran into you again at a networking thing, and I said, what are you doing? And you said, I'm
playing an AI.
Playing an AI. And I'm like, well, I'm natural, not artificial, and some have called me intelligent, but I'm certainly not intelligence or intelligentsia. I don't even know that I could have explained much of it to you. The first time it came to me, Mike Rosenfeld, going on 2 years ago now, he discovered it. And he, of course, at Web Connection, one of my web nerds, did a segment with me on Zoom where we wrote a silly Ravens poem, or as Andrew Dice Clay would say, poem. And it was just one of those roses are red, violets are purple, la, 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 you know. But it was incredible in that it knew all the Ravens history. And it was dropping from Rice to Bolden, from, Lewis to Woodson. And I was like, all right, kind of a nice little toy. That's kind of cool. I don't know how I'm going to use it, but, we'll figure it out. I've had an awakening the last month. You've been a part of that awakening for 7 months. I haven't had you on the show yet. So tell everybody what you do and how you found AI, because I am totally in the Wonkavator here through the holidays in making my business better.
Yeah.
I mean, I've already done it 3 times this morning where I've had aha moments before I even got to Planet Fitness.
Well, I've been in technology since going back to 99. I started in technology transformations. And I jokingly call us Tinder for technology because we match up the right technology solutions with the customer needs. And over the past few years, we've been doing AI for about 4 or 5 years, but it's been a subset of another technology. So, for instance, it'd be security, it'd be contact center, call center, and AI was inherently built into those. Now we're starting to see AI as a service, and so it's changing. I mean, the landscape is changing. It's the fastest adoption I've ever seen anything. I've never seen anything. I saw the cell phone, I saw cloud, I saw networks, I saw all this over the last 26 years. I've never seen anything adopt at this level.
I said to people, do you remember when you went flip phone to surfing your phone all day? And I look around here, how many people just in Planet Fitness are walking in. This young lady in front of me is looking at her phone. Guy there is holding his phone. Like, it's a binky, much more so than a wallet ever was, than your keys ever were. And obviously, if you're an inquisitive person and you have any level of curiosity, or even if you're just a troll on the internet, you're like on the phone a lot. And we'd say on the phone, on the phone. I remember when it was like considered rude to look down on your phone instead of looking up. I mean, there's all these sort of mores and taboos and social faux pas that the phone was like, what's the etiquette around it?
Yeah.
And, doctors had pagers. Remember Memorial Stadium? Dr. Denis O'Donovan, please see your pager. Doctor, So there was all of that went on through how we communicate. I literally wonder how we ever found anybody at the airport. How did you ever pick anybody up at the airport before you could communicate back and forth with them? I'm talking maybe cell phone calls in the 90s, but I'm thinking about these basic communication things where you go places and you're trying to I'll meet you at the stadium. I'll meet you under the Johnny U sign at noon, because that's the way the world had to do things before, right?
Yep.
The AI part of this is so hyper intelligent, and it's so, as you say, come on like a lion, that in the first 50 people in my life that I interact with in a lot of ways, my son, his wife, family members, business partners, clients, people that run Costas, everywhere, I mention AI to them in the last month and a half since I've been served the drug. It is unbelievable how frightened people are of it. Not just skeptical, dubious, but think it's against my ethics, it's against my code, it's against my religion, it's against my pragmatism, it's against whatever. And I feel like, holy cow, it's like I've come to you with something that is offensive to. I'm shocked at how offended people can be, because I think the media front of this, and whoever is against it or is frightening people, whatever rabbit hole they're in, getting their information in the early going, because nobody had any information on this, or even the nerds didn't know about it till a couple years ago, right? There is an inherent, I don't want to know, take that away. It's like you've knocked on their door with a new religion and a pamphlet, and they're like, no, go away. Didn't you see the no soliciting sign on the door? And when I see that, especially, I pulled a family member up in the last couple of weeks, and I'm like, you better really change your attitude on this, because the part where it comes and takes your job and all that real fear and all that is, don't be blind to this. Don't be blind to this in the same way you were with the flip phone, or you were with whatever that thing that is now ubiquitous in your life that you fought for a period of time until such point that the world made you start to text, right?
It's not a choice. What will happen is that I don't know that AI will replace people. People who know AI will replace people who do not. And I think that's a very powerful thing, because you either adopt it or you're going to get.
Now that's a fear thing. You're playing the fear thing, and that's fine.
That's fear. That's fear. That's very real.
My part of it, and I sent the text to my son yesterday, who's not using it, but hearing me out on it. My kid's 41 at this point, right? I sent him. Let me see if I can read you exactly what I sent him out of my phone, because it was right where my mind was. The AI, well, I use some profanity. The AI shiz I'm using is insane for efficiency, confidence, and wisdom. It's blowing my blanking mind.
Yeah.
And this is what I wrote to him at 1 o'clock. He was watching the football game. It was Sunday afternoon, 1 o'clock. I said, I giggle every day over its amazingness. I giggle. I giggle out loud like a schoolboy. You want me to give you an example of what I did? Because I can talk about this. This is an amazing thing, right? You're my tech nerd, or one of my tech nerds. Let me give you my challenge, okay? My challenge is, dear Denis O'Donovan of Comm, my AI guru, I've got a technology challenge. You can say, well, okay. It's Christmas time, my wife's away, and I want to take all of my storage devices going back to 2004, 3 or 4, is the first time I got a hard drive, right? And it was a little tower that probably had a gig on it that cost too much money, $300-$400, that I wanted to have all of my pictures on, of me and Ray Lewis at the barn in 1996, the Super Bowl in '01. I'm not thinking video, dude, okay? There was no video in 2003. There really wasn't. There were video cameras, but there wasn't an .mp4 form. I mean, we're going back 21 years ago, or 22 years ago when I got married. I wanted my wedding pictures and the video that was shot that was put on this high-8 video format. I wanted it digitized so I'd never lose it in 2004 and 5 and 6. Now, that technology is USB 1.0, 2.0, Firewire, like all of that. I have to have computers. So I have all of these drives that I might not even have a cord or a port for an active computer that can pull it off, let alone whether the disk in there. So these are like, now I've taken the really important things and imported it. You see my pictures on Facebook, but it's a freaking mess. My life history of 57 years, my wedding, my wife's illnesses, all the trips I've ever done, all the shows I've ever, like I have it all on these things. And you say, well, just put it on the cloud. I'm like, I'm not putting that on the cloud. I want to own it. It's mine. It's my scrapbook. What I'm basically doing is taking what my parents had, which was a photo gallery in 1974 where we got the pictures, and I'm trying to digitize every conversation I've ever had with Dan Marino or you or Luke or anything I've done to get my content together for Baltimore Positive. I don't even know where to begin. I just told you, got my challenge, right?
Yeah.
I probably have 15 hard drives, couple towers, a bunch of the little lacy drives that have 2 gig, 4 gig, or terabit.
Little Seagate
Little
devices.
Seagate. Oh,
Yeah,
my God.
right.
Seagate to 100.
Yeah.
I have 6 of those.
Yeah.
From 07, 08, 09, right? They have videos of me when Brian Billick was the coach.
Sure.
That's how far back we're going here, right? Let alone the Harbaugh era, which might be coming to an end. What do I do with it? How do I consolidate it? I have, along with a million other things on my AI, my clone, I've asked it. And the reason I wrote to my son on Sunday was after 3 weeks of playing with this concept, my credit card, I'm like $1,000 or $2 short of trying to get my companion pass. So I'm trying to like charge a few things here the last week of the year, literally.
Yeah.
And I know this is going to be an expense, and I know it's going to be, somewhere between $800 and $2,000, to get the setup I want, to take everything I've ever done, my wedding videos, pictures of my parents, not just pictures, big files, moving files, bigger things,
Sure.
and storage of all the video. I probably have 15,000 hours of stuff on YouTube alone. All of that I have on hard drives, right?
Okay. Yeah.
All the video. This I will have,
Yeah.
right? How do I do this? And AI has, over the last 2 weeks, consumer reported all of the equipment, all of the hard drive, all of my needs, asked me everything that I need to do, asked me the errors I needed to do it, and I finally giggled like a little kid at 1 o'clock on Sunday afternoon, and I ran out to the Micro Center. I ran into Michael McCrary in the Micro Center,
Nice.
and I bought a couple of things that I'm doing, and I was so intimidated by this project, and it literally has told me things like, don't worry about storing any of it, filing any of it. Just transfer it. Make sure your drives aren't broken. Just transfer it. AI will be able to sort this thing out with facial recognition so much better than you could ever do it, and it's going to do it while you sleep because you bought AI equipment. It's like having a smart TV, which I still don't have.
Correct.
I don't have a TV where I can watch Peacock.
Correct.
Literally. I have to watch. I don't have that kind of TV. I haven't spent the $500 and bought a new TV in 15 years. I don't watch a lot of TV. But I know getting smart digital equipment, AI, it basically has told me it's going to recognize every single thing that's you, every single thing that's Luke, every single thing that's your wife, that's Billick, and it's just going to do it while you sleep. What?
Yeah. Yeah, it's very
I'm
true.
so glad I didn't try to do this project 3 or 4 years ago. That's how I'm feeling about it right now.
Well, it goes back to the old adage with the computer, garbage in, garbage out, right? So you got part of any successful AI project is strategizing, getting the data right, and getting it to the point where you can say, okay, we're going to bring
I have a prescription, dude. It's just literally, and it's not like IKEA prescription where it's in emoji. It's writing in my voice, in my clone, in a way I understand. And when I don't understand, I say, explain it to me like I'm dumb because I am. You know what I mean? Like, tell me exactly everything I need to do for this project. It doesn't matter what your project. My project right now is a digital nightmare that I could never untangle in my mind, let alone in firewires and different devices to try to get all of these crazy. They're now like Polaroid pictures, these hard drives, right? They're just this thing that needs to be
It's data.
undone.
It's just data, and once you have data, you can analyze it, you can sort it.
Now you can analyze it and
you
sort it.
can
You
do-
couldn't before.
you couldn't before.
You had to do that as a human. Do you think I ever wanted to attack? Do you ever think I have enough hours in the day to attack 30 years of my history just to go folder by folder to look for hoping that I slugged it right, put my name on it, or put the right name on the file at some point? Back when we didn't even name files.
You didn't name file, yeah.
And you take pictures, they're all IMG0493. Like, how do I find that picture of me and Meadowlark Lemon? By the way, the Maryland Lottery sponsors us. We're Planet Fitness. My buddy Dennis is here. We're talking some AI. I have a picture of Meadowlark Lemon that I took in 2006 or 7. I know exactly where and when I took it. I can't find it. AI will find that picture for me this afternoon if I ask it to the right way and it's in there. And I guess that's my point of having a content thing that there's so many pragmatic. Well, how do you use it that would wow my audience in some simplistic way? I mean,
So the big thing that I did this year is I wanted to help businesses understand where to start, right? People started with ChatGPT, they played a little bit with Copilot, and by and large, a lot of business owners are like, we know we need to invest in it, but what's next? Where do we go? And for me, the biggest thing AI is going to improve is workflows, right? How you do things. And if I can get a 20% reduction in workflow here, if I can streamline this process, we all have fractured, replicating, duplicate, we all have these processes we all hate. And that goes back to what we talked about earlier about culture.
well, the thing that struck me about this, that I've really worked from the bottom to top, and I have to really get my arms around, I'm trying to explain this as a communicator, but I have this master task list I've always had because I'm a crazy Tony Robbins guy that's an entrepreneur, solopreneur. But there have been projects like this digital project that are at the bottom of my master sheet that I never get to because the whale is just too enormous to think about swallowing any of the guppies to get to this digital project. It's like when my wife got cancer both times, I took on major projects because I had nothing but time.
Sure.
She was in a hospital bed. I digitized all of my old tapes while my wife was in darkness in a hospital room in Johns Hopkins because I didn't want to lose my mind. I needed to feel active, right?
Yeah.
At that point in my life. That's the last time COVID gave us all like a little bit of a slowdown to say, I mean, I built Baltimore Positive during COVID. I was going to run for mayor, right? Like taking on these projects that are so enormous and you're so left-handed. You don't have the expertise. You don't have the knowledge. You don't have a guy or a girl or a person or a resource. That is something I never, when I ran into you in the grocery store 6 months ago, something that maybe even a month or two ago, I wouldn't have thought that this is going to take those whale projects at the bottom of my list that have become bigger and bigger and messier and messier every day, like your insurance, your wills, all the things that my colonoscopy, like the things that you don't want to do, that you know you have to do, and they feel like, oh, colonoscopy, I have to call, I have to plan, I have to have a day. There's going to be a day before I'm not going to have to eat, 3 days before. It's like, it's a thing, it's a project. I'm going to have to have somebody take me and bring me in.
Yeah.
Like, it's a whole thing, so you're just like, I'm not going to do that. And then you get cancer and you die, right? Or the project becomes so big that it's so onerous that you won't even think about it. The AI thing has blown my mind in that way, and that's what made me giggle. It's taking a project that's so big that I wouldn't even know where to come at it, and I just throw it in there, and it's like, no, here's the first thing, here's the second thing, it's a prescription.
It breaks it down into smaller, more manageable pieces, right? And I call it, people talk about what AI agents are. I've been talking about it for 6 months, and it was hard to conceptualize until you go in there and you see some of these tools, and you're like, wait a minute, I can see that. That makes sense. So think of an AI intern that you apply towards those things that you hate to do, and you have those interns doing that work, and they're breaking the pieces down bit by bit by bit. And so, like the one tool that I'm using right now, it saved me 38 hours last month. 38 hours. So I'm using AI to give me my time
I haven't
back.
even. I don't even want to like put a scale on it because I know how incredible it is.
But like, think about it. When you go back to somebody and say, whatever makes you happy, is it generating new revenue? Is it taking that time, being able to say, let me put it towards business development. Let me go get.
What
new
if it's just going
clients.
fishing?
Yeah,
Or coming to Planet Fitness and getting on a piece of equipment?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Whatever makes you happy. The AI is going to give you your time back.
The
then
efficiency part of it. That's the efficiency,
what
right?
you choose to do at that time is whatever makes you happy. And that's the difference, and I think that's the thing that I'm trying to tell people. A lot of folks want to boil the ocean with AI, and there are some applications where you can do that, but by and large, I think a lot of it is going to be small little wins repeated over and over and over again to get the cumulative effect of saving time. And as a business owner, man, that's the name of the game.
Dude, you just said boil the ocean. That is exactly the phrase that my clone used yesterday to talk about this digital project with me. Because I'm talking about taking 15 drives, my whole life of audio, video, and putting it into a place where I don't have to go file by file and say, that's a picture of me and Luke at Wembley in London. It would just know. It just will know.
Yeah.
It will know. It just will know. And I can't even Willy Wonka how amazing that's going to be, even if I wake up in April and this project is done. Because it felt like it was going to take me the rest of my life to do it, and I'd always be chasing 2008's videos. And why do I even bother? Why do I care? Now it becomes something that can be useful to me, to my audience, to a client,
Content.
in any
it's
way.
great content. You got a history, a career of great content, and
It's only when Luke's on the show, and it's great.
But no, that's the name of the game, and I think that's what AI is going to change. It's going to change effectively the way people work. It's going to streamline. It's going to make you 20, 30, 40% more effective. And we're going to take the mundane things that you hate to do, and it's going to digitize them, and have a machine do it, and streamline that so that you can then go in and be more. And I don't know many business owners that want prompt engineering. Let's talk about that, right? We've talked about ChatGPT and all that stuff. What's prompt engineering? It's there's Markdown, some of the different platforms
Sure.
that you've talked about. There are 30 different prompting styles, and so if I can get you to the point where you can get to the effective prompt you need in 2 prompts in 5 minutes versus 15 and 30 minutes, are you working any less in that 30 minutes? No, but that's 25 minutes.
The
I just
prompt thing
inserted
for
it back.
me, once the clone knows me pretty well, I can say to it, create a perfect prompt, and it will.
But you're one of the few that have started with a clone ahead of time. Most business owners don't have that yet.
I'm telling you, get a clone, man.
So they've got people going in there, and they're not
the
not
more
working.
it knows you, the more it can do things for you and think like you. You know, I mean, the thing that I start with everybody is I hold my cell phone up if I were a spokesperson in this and just say, remember like getting a concert ticket before then? Remember paying a bill? Remember writing a check and having to take it to the mall, to the bank, and park the car? And go, you know, and anyone who uses any online shopping, which I swore, who would ever use this as a bank, who would ever put their credit card in, who would ever buy something online, who would ever buy shoes online that they can't try on, right? Or a shirt that they can't touch to see how it's going to feel or how it's going to fit. And I'm blown away that nobody would ever, and that's what's killed retail and a lot of things in the country, but you wouldn't think of booking a flight by going to the mall to a travel agent in the basement and asking for a catalog. So all of those ubiquitous things to people our age, my God, for a 20-year-old, they don't even know from landlines and all the crazy old stuff we know. And that's why I'm trying to wake folks up about AI and say, if you don't have a person in your life or you're not looking into this, Dennis is here. Dennis has helped me immensely. I've had other people. Why do people come to you? Business owners come and I know this was slow going because you're seeing the same problems. Luke and I fight about this. I show him how his clone writes better than him, and he's offended. I'm like, no, it writes better than me too. It does, you know.
We like I said early on, business owners know they need to invest in it, but they don't know where to start. It's noisy. There's so much noise everywhere. They don't know where to start.
And their employees don't want it because they think it's going to put them out of work.
Because they think it's going to put them out of work.
Right.
So you've got a cultural thing there. Right, and so that's why I always say, let's try to find some small wins. You get to show the team that they can actually get some value out of AI without feeling threatened. The business owner gets some ROI, And you're like, okay, this is great. Now everybody's buying in a little bit better. Now the next project, now the next project, now the next project. And I think that's a more common sense approach than just trying to go in there and say, let's AIify everything and break everything. And then a lot of those projects don't get they don't get vetted properly because you don't have the proper guidelines in place. You don't have the proper strategy. I always joke and say AI is like a jetpack. You fill it with jet fuel, and if you don't have the right direction, you can go really fast into a wall.
Denis O'Donovan's my guest. I'm going to wrap things up. We're Planet Fitness. You'll come back again and again. There'll be crab cakes. We're here at the Planet Fitness in Timonium. I'm changing all of my old swag for new swag. They've got funny hats. We're going to have, because I know the Orioles are going to win the World Series. We're going to talk about Shane Baz. It's all brought to you by the Maryland Lottery, Candy Cane Cash, also our friends at GBMC. Love you, appreciate you. Costas is across the street. Just as a parting shot on this for what you do and why people would call, my pathway to AI came through a Tony Robbins seminar in late October. I started looking at it or whatever, but the thing that was so smart for the way I learned it, because I came in naked and blind and sort of like, whatever you say, I'm just going to listen. I'm going to do a lot of listening here. Try to figure this out. Try to listen, figure it out, then ask questions later, and I had you and some other people to help me. The Robbins thing was so effective for me because there was 12 hours of theory. I called it 12 hours of TED Talks. It wasn't quite 12 hours, probably 8 hours, a little bit of salesmanship and whatever. But these reasons that you need to understand this, that it's coming, the good things, the bad things, the awful things, the wonderful things, but just to sit back and understand it a little bit before you get the jetpack on and you go into the wall. Yeah. Because you can write funny poems the way I did, and you can completely redevelop your digital strategy, which I'm doing. But this is something that really needs to be explored no matter who you are because of the efficiency level, because it can make your life happier, faster, better, more efficient. And more than that, your kids are going to have it. Your kids' kids are going to have it. It's never going to go away. And once the light goes on, as it's done for me the last 4 weeks, where I call it a Wonkavator. And I call it a Wonkavator because we all know Willy Wonka, where it was the glass elevator, and it was an amazing, like once you break through that glass elevator, it's, oh my God, I've never been on a ride like this. But there is that point where you're in the ocean with Willy Wonka, and he's like, we have no idea where it's going, but it's going to go somewhere. I don't know really what's going to happen when I hit the button, but something extraordinary is going to happen. I just don't know what it's going to be. Know that that button's there, and know that, like, you really should get on the road to that because it's been a paradigm shift for me. It's been an awakening for me at 57. And I'm speaking about it like that, like maybe where Brian Gumbel had his internet moment. What's the internet? Right? That moment. I just hope people find this to be faster and quicker in their own world to explore it because it's coming and other people are going to explore it quicker and faster and get there faster. And I'm not about getting there faster or better, but it gets you there better than you ever thought it could get you there when you apply it the right way.
Well, and I think, but it's got to have guardrails, and it's got to be, it's got to have a good strategy. Those are the two things.
I'm not using it in nefarious ways now. I have no doubt that it will be used in nefarious ways.
The people that are using it for good are going to use it for bad. That's inevitably what happens.
Sure.
But if you can put some guardrails around it and you can, as a business owner, say, what do I need to do to protect my PII, my intellectual property, all of my customers' data, all of my employees' data. If I can put a map around that and a moat around that and protect it to still give us the ability to go in there and tinker with it without nobody's going to magically, knowingly give away company secrets.
You've been doing this for years. They're trying to protect people's
for years.
Whatever, their digital anything. That's all you've been doing, right?
Yeah, it's all that.
Tell folks how to find you. Denis O'Donovan's been a friend of mine for over a decade. Met him. Honestly, through There Goes My Hero and through my wife's illness a decade ago, and over the last 7-8 months, he and I have been getting closer and closer. And when I'm unclear on the AI thing, he's clear on it. Or as my teacher Igor would say, just ask your clone. It is designed to help you. It is built to help you. Just ask it for help. And it's like, my wife's been gone a couple weeks. She's coming back here Christmas time and be like, I'm just going to say, like, this is the most amazing thing because I can ask it for anything. And I'm getting a really, really insightful, valuable piece of data, no matter what I try to do with
So
it.
if you point Jen to the clone, that's that's when it's.
I blew her mind right before she left. Believe
Ask
me.
the clone.
Yeah.
No, that's exciting. Thank you for letting me be here. The name of my company is ProfitComm, www.profitcomm.com. Number is 410-666-3909, extension 222. Love to talk to you about AI. We offer a free AI assessment. Ultimately, we're going to come in there and we're going to look at, when we do these assessments, these deep dive assessments, we come up with between 5 and 8 different ways where we can implement AI in your business to start seeing the value of productivity, improved efficiency.
And like the same thing with me being your client and friend, you're like, what's the thing you really need to do? I need to automate this content to our audio vault, to our video, to our transcripts, so that Luke can get some sleep and AI can write the column for him off the 3 hours we did this morning.
I did one Monday, and it was an 8-task workflow, and I said, I think I can automate 3 of those, just by the way they were doing it. And if you can automate 3 out of 8 tasks, and you can do that 5, 6, 7 times in your business, you're doing something. You're having real impact.
Luke and I spent 3 hours this morning after he was up till 3 o'clock in the morning doing fire Harbaugh, fire Monken, let's get Lamar healthy. Can we win in Green Bay?
I think my son was watching him on all that stuff.
What are they doing with Derek? We did all of that. Yeah. And then I went in afterward and said, write the nastiest columnist piece you can about firing John Harbaugh, and it still wrote it too nice because my DNA is nice. So it wrote a nice fire John Harbaugh column. It's hilarious. But it gave me some really interesting little one-liners and some zingers. It's a little soup starter. It's an idea starter for me at this point.
Awesome.
Believe me, once you start to listen to my clone, you will, right? People think it's going to be like that. One morning you're going to wake up, be listening to me do commercials on the radio that you think I recorded. But it's just going to be my voice. It wants to do that so bad for me because it thinks that's saving me time. It thinks that's my efficiency. Can I cut your commercials for you? I'm like, it takes me I'm pretty good at cutting commercials.
Yeah.
I'm pretty good at doing the show. But I'm not good at doing all of this and having all the backside of automation, which is where you come in, where AI comes in.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to get Luke a funny hat. We're going to talk about baseball out here. We're Planet Fitness. It's all brought to you by the Maryland Lottery, Candy Cane Cash. We are at Planet Fitness in Timonium, brand new location. They've been open 22 days. It's right behind the Expectation on York Road, right across from High Tops, right across the street from the Timonium racetrack where my friends at Costas are, right down the street from Curio Wellness and Foreign Daughter. We're right here in the heart of Timonium, home of Denis O'Donovan and ProfitComm, and really home of WNST. So we're back for more from Planet Fitness. I'm going to have Justin on. We're going to be talking about 2026 and getting in shape. And I wore purple today because, we're all having a hard time here this week. But Santa's coming down the chimney. Merry Christmas. Back for more right after this.